What is up, survivors? We're back for another mod review. Today's mod review, a little bit short, but also one that I think is really cool. This is the Ark Project Anomaly mod. Now, this mod is a creature mod. It adds, well, in future, gonna be adding a few creatures, but right now, we just have one to go over, and it's right here. This guy. Which is, I can't even begin to compare it to any other creature that I've seen out here. Like, it's completely in and of its own for the most part. Like, I sometimes I look at it and go, okay, well, it kind of looks like that body from that animal or that arm, but I cannot, for the life of me, even compare this to anything. It's pretty wild. This is the Galvarex. Is that right? Galvarex. It's kind of a critter that usually hangs around in the snow or maybe in a bioluminescent area, depending on the map that you're on. And it's pretty wicked. So this thing is a level 1 right now, and let's check out its stats. So its health is around a little over 600, it's down to 500, oxygen 4, food is pretty high at 2600, weight's only 360, melee 175. I believe the base damage on this guy is right around 70, it seems to be. Like, it seems to be that's what's going on here. Let's turn K mode off and go roaming around here a little bit. So obviously I have some admin stats on just to make things a little bit easier while we're testing this guy out, running him through his paces. And he does, yeah, so it looks like the left click is just a standard bite attack that we're doing like 70 damage. Now, the wiki, the workshop page said that the base damage was 38, but I don't know if that's wholeheartedly correct, because as we can see, I'm doing 70 damage and I haven't tweaked any of the dino damage, so, and it's only a level 1, so I'm not sure if that's 100% correct. The right click does a swipe attack, which is kind of like a little bit AoE out in front of me. And let me find something a little I can show you what's going on here. We got a little dillo. As you can see, this is 51, but it seems to hit multiple things. Oh no, that was mate boosted, so it's 77. That was a mate boosted critter, so that's why the damage went down. So 77 on the swipe attack. We also have a sweeping tail attack, like a kick attack, which he'll kick behind him. So if things were behind you, you can kick behind you, which is pretty cool. The other cool thing about this is even though this creature doesn't seem to eat berries, it seems to eat meat. It will. Maybe it was over here I was doing that. Yeah, there we go. Harvest berries, thatch, wood. Yeah, so pretty good harvester, as you can see. It's pretty impressive. It's kind of crazy, actually. I mean, this kind of beats out a lot of berry harvesters early on, so I get it. I can get where this might be a little OP. However, taming this guy is not easy. So you're going to find these out in the wild. They're going to come after you. Like I said, you're going to see them in the snow biome usually, or in a bioluminescent area, or in like Rockworld's innards. Apparently there is a R variant attached to this as well, but you want to fight it. So if you notice down at my bottom left by my hotbar, there's an excitement meter, and that meter kicks up as I do damage. Now the wild ones do the same thing. As they fight, that excitement meter goes up. Now the trick is after that excitement meter goes up, you'll get some extra stats that we'll talk about, but once that happens, that excitement meter will drain back down. Once it's drained down all the way, the animal will get really tired, and that's when you do torpor damage to knock it out to tame it. Like I said, it is a carnivore. If you're looking for the kibble to tame this guy, it is the superior kibble. We got a pretty awesome jump with this dude too. Like I said, I'm really trying to figure out where this sculpt came from. It reminds me of the domination Rex that might have been out on the Ark additional creatures mod, maybe. Like the stance looks like that, but it's definitely leaner. I really can't find anything to compare this to. But as you can see, we have quite a lot of abilities that are pretty awesome. Let's get back, throw this back in here. Definitely a light fighter sort of critter. I mean, obviously you can berry harvest and stuff with it, so it could do some harvesting if you had an extra one for that. But because the weight stat isn't very high off the get-go, and it doesn't look like the health is that high off the get-go compared to other creatures, you're kind of a glass cannon. And what I mean by that is that you can dish out a lot of damage, but I don't know in the long run if you'll be able to take it when you start messing around with bigger carnivores, unless you got a few of these guys. But let's cruise around, find me like a group of guys I can kill just to show you how this thing works. I haven't seen a rhyme or reason about what gets this meter up. It's just doing damage seems to get this meter up, and as you can see, that excitement meter is slowly trickling up. Basically, once it does, all of your normal attacks are now like amplified, like ramped up. And of course, I'm not going to find anything, and this is going to drain back down and tick me off a little bit. There's another piggy poo. Come here, pig. All right, so now we're almost there. Almost there. There we go. So then we hit R, we activate it, and now you basically use the left alt key with the basic attacks, and they do extra damage to whatever you're fighting. And I get these cool lights going on. I'm doing 100. It's like a 3 burst attack with your primary. The claw attack, as you can see, does like this lightning wicked electrocution thing, which is pretty cool. I'm doing massive amounts of damage with this. It also has like this tantrum buff that you can hit that makes it go in this like this crazy combo electrocution sort of thing. But as you can see, now that that meter runs down, I have a timer up at the top right, which you kind of can't see because the level up thing is there. But I'm like super tired during this time. And then once it wears off, I kind of get back to normal again. So, I mean, it only might seem like, you know, 10 or 15 seconds that I'm down for, but that could be crucial when you're using this combo in like a bad place, right? You could put yourself in a bad spot pretty easy with this guy very quickly by not finishing the job and getting tired out. So I think this is an interesting creature that you definitely have to watch a lot of variables on. Like I said, I think it can dish out a lot of damage, but it definitely is a technical creature. In the beginning, I thought maybe this might be a little OP with all the crazy abilities that it has, even being immune to like electrocution and to radiation, and then getting reduced damage against creatures that cause that sort of damage in general. It has a lot of different buffs to it. Also, when we're supercharged, you get like a crazy hold jump attack, kind of like the Reaper Kings do. Yeah, like the Reaper Kings. You can hold it in space and hold in the jump key and then kind of launch yourself out pretty far. It doesn't look like it takes little to no fall damage, really. But I think, first and foremost, I wouldn't run this on vanilla settings, right? I would use this guy with like a difficulty of like a 150 max dino, maybe even higher sort of situation. But I think if you did that, it makes the animal technical, so you really have to think about what you're doing a little bit. But I don't know if it'll make it that OP, mainly because that combo could kill you, right? Like that 10 or 15 seconds that you're down and out in a fight, depending on where you're at, like even a boss fight or something like that. I mean, 10 to 15 seconds, a lot can happen when you're in the middle of a fight for 10 to 15 seconds. Pair it up with the fact that this guy just, I mean, he pumps out some damage, but he can't really take a whole lot. Like our health at the beginning is 675. And it ramps up okay. It ramps up okay. So maybe actually if you went like straight for like a health melee sort of build, he might actually be pretty good. Not super fast either. Like this is the sprint on this guy. He has a long gait to him, but he's not covering ground as fast as some of the other faster carnivores do. It's a weird niche, but I kind of like it. Looks like you can wield stuff while you're riding this guy. That's always a good thing. It's always something I like. I'm a huge fan of being able to use weapons while on the back of creatures, so I tend to use more medium-sized mounts in general. Trying to get them in some deeper water, because I don't think, and this kind of goes without saying, unless an animal is really built for being amphibious or a water dino, they typically don't move in the water very fast. This guy definitely seems to be one of those. We're going to get him out more towards the ocean so we can double check it though. And while we're on our way out to the ocean to test the swim speed out on this guy, it appears that they do have genders, so you could in fact breed these dudes. All right, let's go out here in the water and see. Oh yeah, a swimmer, this dude is not. You're not using him for that. It's not a good idea. Although he kind of looks like a little bit like a sea dragon, a little bit. Oh no, I gotta say it's a pretty cool creature. I really like it. I think it's very unique. The style isn't exactly like what you expect out of Arc Dinos with the very big eyes and the way the color palette is on it, but I think it still kind of works. It's not like an exact to the T, but sometimes you need that with these creature mods. I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. It definitely seems to, I don't know, it flows pretty well. The attacks seem pretty good. Everything seems pretty good. Everything seems to be pretty fluid, I should say, is probably the best word. Like everything seems smooth. It doesn't seem like cut out or anything. You unlock the saddle for this guy at level 73. You're gonna need fiber, hide, and metal to make it. You will just make it on your person. Maybe this is off of a Gallimimus body? Maybe that's what it is? The saddle looks like a galley saddle. Maybe that's what's going on. But let's see how the rest of the stuff stacks up, right? So our stamina's at 500 base, goes up by 50 each time. Okay, that's cool. Oxygen goes up by 40. Food goes up by significant, but let's be honest, nobody really cares about that. Weight goes up very not that great, which I kind of like. I kind of like the idea of not getting a whole lot of weight out of this critter. So let's see what one level in melee will do for us as far as damage goes. And then we'll wrap this thing up. So we were doing 70 with the primary attack, doing 72. So you're going up to basically 2 damage per melee level, which again, isn't all that great. It really comes down to the combo that this thing has, but that downtime on that combo meter, whew, like that could be high risk, high reward. This is something that you would definitely want. If you're gonna go fight some stuff, you want this in like you want a whole lot of backup, or even using this in just more of a supporting role, I think. But looks great, works great, no complaints. That is pretty much it. So I would pay attention to this mod, definitely check this one out. It appears that the mod creator has plans to add some other creatures in, and if they're anything like the caliber of this one, I'm really curious to see how it plays out. But as always, we will leave a link to the Steam Workshop page in the description of the video so you guys can check that out at your leisure. And I'm gonna go run around and eat some stuff, so I'll see you guys on the next one.